English is difficult only for the people who do not try. People who are trying, they are learning. Everyone knows about that. Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Anjali and today I'm going to talk about how to think in English and why is it so important to think in English in order to learn English. So before I start, if you are new here, then please subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. So let's get started. So first thing that we need to understand that what is the difference between native language and English language. Alright, so why we are so comfortable with our local language or native language? Because friends, native language, mother tongue is something that we are born with, and that's why we are so comfortable speaking this language. It gives us a feeling of the love of a mother. Maybe that's why we call it mother tongue. But it is totally different in the case of English language. English language is not our first language. Everyone knows that, right? English language is something that we need to learn it because we are not surrounded by people who speak English. So we have to do something which could help us learn English. And I think thinking in English is something that is really very helpful to improve our English. I know it is very easy to say that think in English, but it is quite challenging to think in English. Because if someone is the beginner, if someone is starting to learn this language, how he or she is supposed to think in English? How? Don't worry, I'm here to help you with this problem. Alright friends, so I'm going to give you some tips that you need to follow one by one if you want to think in English. So here I want to add one more thing, that why it is important to think in English. Because friends, thinking is a continuous process. Alright. For example, if I tell you to read 10 minutes per day to learn English, so what will you do? You will just read for 10 minutes only. But if I say that think in English, so thinking in English is not a very limited thing, right? Thinking is something that is continuous process. All the time we are thinking. The human mind is built in a way that keeps working all the time. So if we indulge ourselves, if we involve ourselves in this process, in this activity, then obviously it is the full-time job. I mean, whenever we have to think in English. So here I'm talking about how to start thinking in English. If you are the beginner, if you are someone who has just started to learn English. So let's get started. So first thing that I'm going to tell you is start speaking words in English and not in your local language, in your mother tongue. Alright, I know this is not a very big thing. It's very easy thing and you already know many words in English, but because you are used to speaking those words in your local language. But now on you will think in English only and not in your local language. For example, if there is a chair, stop saying it kursi. Just say chair. Stop saying kitab. Say book. Stop saying darwaja. Say door. So you know, these are very basic things. These are very small things and you already know about these words in English. But the thing is, you are used to speaking these words in your local language only and not in English. And if you do this, if you think in English, you are training yourself, you are training your mind to think in English, to work for English, right? And in this way, if you do this, you are not pressurizing yourself. You are just taking a small steps. So when you take these tiny steps, these are really going to helpful for you to learn English. So this is not difficult. I think everyone can do this. You don't need to make excuses that how to think in English. This is very big thing and we cannot think in English. How we are supposed to think in English? No. You start with words only. You don't need to make long sentences. You don't need to make short sentences. So you just need to think in English about words only. You don't need to make sentences. You just need to start thinking in English. Basically, you are training your mind. You are training yourself to work that way. Alright? So stop speaking these words in your local language. Start thinking in English only. So if you keep doing this, you will see that these words are coming out naturally in English only. But when you think in English, keep thinking about these words in English, and obviously whenever you have to say something, it will come naturally because your mind is working that way. So once you are comfortable with this thing, if you are comfortable with thinking in English about these words, now it's time to move on to the next step. And the next step is start speaking a little bit more about those words. For example, that chair, we talked about chair, right? So now we can say the chair is black, the chair is beautiful, the chair is so comfortable, I like the chair is anything you can say about that chair. So in this way you are not making long sentence, you are just adding a little bit more details to that particular thing. And if there is a t-shirt, you can talk about that t-shirt. The t-shirt is expensive, the t-shirt is so comfortable, the t-shirt is so beautiful, and the t-shirt was gifted by someone. So you just need to speak a little more about the word, whatever the word is, whatever the thing is. Okay, as you spoke about chair, as you spoke about t-shirt, so whatever these things are. And once you are comfortable with making these short sentences, now it's time to move on to the next step, which is talk to yourself. Now you are able to make these short sentences, right? Now you have to talk to yourself. For example, I'm sitting here, I'm loving this, I like this, I'm going, I need to put on the shirt, I need to go, what should I do? These kind of sentences you can use in your mind. You can talk about these words to yourself and start speaking to yourself. Many people speak to themselves. I do. I also talk to myself sometimes. Even most of the time I talk to myself. And this is a very good exercise. This is a very good practice to improve English. Right? Because you are talking to yourself. You are thinking about more and more and more. So I think this is the best thing that you can do to learn English. Just think in English. Keep talking to yourself in mind. And you will see, you will notice very soon you are speaking out naturally in English. You don't have to speak forcefully. You don't have to speak knowingly. It will happen naturally to you. For example, if you have to say that, हाँ मुझे पसंद आई, you might say, yeah, I like it. Yeah, I love this. And when you are comfortable with speaking to yourself, now if you are loving this activity, talking to yourself, now it's time to speak out. Speak out loud. Speak to your friends, speak to your family members, whatever is possible. I'm not saying you need to speak very difficult sentences. So whatever sentences you are comfortable with, you need to speak those sentences. That's the only way how you can improve your English. Now you are not struggling with thinking in English. Now you just have to speak out. Whatever is possible, whenever is possible, you have to make it possible actually. You have to make it happen. So keep speaking whatever is possible for you. And have patience. It is not going to change overnight. It will take some time. Understand that English is not our first language, and if you make mistakes, that's completely fine. You don't worry about mistakes. You cannot avoid mistakes, and no one is there in the world who doesn't make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Even native speakers whose first language is English, they also make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, everyone. If you are making mistakes, that means you are trying. If you don't want to try, you don't make mistakes. Mistakes are the proof that you are trying. So don't avoid mistakes. Don't worry too much about mistakes. Just start speaking. Just start thinking and keep thinking whatever is possible. There is no limit to think. There is no limit to speak. But you have to take care of this thing, who you are speaking to. Okay? I think that's all I wanted to say. And trust me, this is really going to be very helpful for you. I also do it. When you think in English, your mind is working that way. Your body is working that way. And English is difficult only for the people who do not try. People who are trying, they are learning. Everyone knows about that. If you are not trying, if you are not speaking, you will not learn anything. You will not be there. If you want to learn English, if you want to be there, then you have to go like this. Take small steps. You don't need to run. Whatever is possible for you, but at least you should do those things. Directly you cannot be there, right? You have to take those tiny steps. That is the right way to speak English. That is the right way to learn English. Okay friends, so I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. So that's all in this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.